ready to proceed. We're going to proceed with the regular business of today's meeting. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eric Stevenson, Vice Chair of the Planning Commission. To my right is Secretary Chris Ryer. Would you please call roll?
Certainly, thank you. Robin Allen may be attending virtually. Toya Curtis.
Present.
The Honorable John Bullock is not here. Talib Horn.
Present.
Claudia Jolin.
Present.
Doug McCoach.
Present.
The mayor's representative is not here. And Eric Stevenson.
Present. Next on our agenda, we have the approval of the minutes. First, we've got the minutes from the December 5th meeting, and then we've got the minutes from the January 9th meeting. Does anybody have any comments or questions on the minutes from December 5th? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
John Bullock is online.
Oh, good.
Okay, great. Do we have votes from both of them on the approval of the December 5th minutes?
I need to elevate Councilman Bullock for a second.
Commissioners Bullock and Allen, can you unmute yourself and vote on that last item?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll approve.
Okay, thank you. We can record Councilman Bullock's vote if we receive it. Next.
Approved.
Thank you. Next, we've got the minutes from last week's January 9th meeting. Should be very fresh in everyone's mind. Any questions or comments? I forgot that we had any business last week.
We just transferred. Yeah, just trying.
All right, motion,
So moved.
second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Moving to the consent agenda, there were not any Board of Estimates meetings since last week, so we do not have any CIP transfers. Next on the consent agenda is minor subdivision final plans, 1400 Bank Street, Perkins Homes, Phase 5, Block C. Any questions or comments on that issue? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Next on the consent agenda, minor subdivision final plans, Baltimore Country Club in the 6th District. Any questions or concerns on this item? Do we have a motion?
Motion to move.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Next on the consent agenda, street closing of 4 alleys and a portion of the 2700 block of Tivoli Street in the 14th District. Any questions or concerns about this issue? Mr. Tiso.
And I can just add to that, this was referred to us. It was originally sent over during COVID time, approximately 2020 timeframe somewhere. And I could not find record of us having approved it. So just out of abundance of caution, we were asked to approve or reapprove as needed.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Jolin. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Horn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Lastly, on our consent agenda, item number 7, street closing of the 1600 block of Forney Street, a portion of the 100 block of North Vincent Street, and 3-foot alleys. Block 180 in the 9th District. Any questions or concerns about this item? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Curtis. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jolin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. That concludes the consent agenda. Mr. Secretary, would you please introduce the first item on our regular agenda?
First item on the regular agenda is a minor change in final development approval for 5001 Green Spring Avenue, Planned Unit Development Number 72. It's parking garage on Lot K in the 6th Councilmanic District. Eric Tiso will present.
And good afternoon. This is for the Life Bridge, formerly known as Sinai PUD. This is for Lot K, which is the larger parcel to the east of Green Spring. It is up on a hill about 20-ish feet above Green Spring Avenue, so you can see how the driveway kind of curves up the hill. So where the red star is where the proposed parking garage will go. On the northern end of the parking lot, a future phase for medical office building will follow. Just a couple of images showing its situation. So it'll actually be difficult to see these improvements from the street side just because it's up 2 stories and surrounded by trees. In some ways, this is a good thing. So why it's in front
In
of
a quarter
you.
mile, turn right onto Moravia Road.
No, we're on Green Spring. So for why we're here today, this is a minor change. So you have to run through this list. And if it doesn't trigger any of these things, and we believe it doesn't, then it can be a minor change. So the purpose of the minor change, this is the last plan that you saw when they were doing their cancer center. And let me see if I can make the mouse work. I can't make the pointer work, so I'll just step over here and use the mouse, which is not visible on the screen. Okay, anyway, on Lot K, you can see the big gray building. It was proposed to be the garage, and the smaller gold color building was going to be the possible medical office building. In essence, they're flopping those two and changing their footprints a bit. So the garage is going to be more to the south, the medical office building will be more to the north. Not a significant change here. The medical office building will need to have an accompanying adjustment, which the commission saw 6 to 9 months ago, I think, to the global forest conservation plan and an easement across the site. Again, they're going to need to slightly adjust that. So the medical office building will be delayed by some few months, and they'll come back in a future phase, so you'll see that again. There is the global map, which has been redlined and modified a number of times over the past 15 or so years. But this shows where they're taking square footage from one place, moving it to another, moving parking spaces around. The fast version, zooming in a bit, is they're showing where the medical office building will fit. That's a 76,000 square foot thing in the 5 accessible spaces, and then there will be 410 spaces in the proposed parking lot. That will displace 458 surface lots, so it'll be a slight net decrease, but again, it's a massive amount of parking that they have throughout their whole campus. All of that still means that their global total of what they should have is more than what they need, so they're fine, and they're under their total square footage cap. So looking through the plan sheets, this is as it sits now with the parking lot popping in here. So that lighter gray, the right half of it's going to show where the pavement is being taken out. The slightly darker gray on the left half is where they're going to mill overlay and make it a little bit nicer since it's been there for a few years. And then we drop the garage building in there. It's about 3 stories tall. I want to say... how tall was it? It's in my staff report, the height. I want to say like 30 some odd, 39 feet and change to the top of the elevator penthouses on the building. So it's a big rectangular garage, nothing complicated, accompanying landscaping. So there's the garage from each side. So the top image is the north side, which would be what the customers see from the parking lot side. The middle one is the south elevation, which would be the back of it against the trees, and then the two short ends. And then that's a zoom in. It's concrete and brick. It's a parking garage. So with that, we recommend adopting the findings and approving this item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tiso. Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Jolin?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Curtis?
No questions.
Commissioner McCoach?
Just a question as to whether this would ultimately, whether the medical office building will ultimately go to UDAP. Okay. That's fine.
Commissioner Horn?
Just a question regarding notification to the community. I didn't see any letters, but I was just wondering if you've heard anything or if any letters have come in.
We do have a representative here from LifeBridge. They had a meeting, which I believe I had the PowerPoint that they shared from, I think it was last June, they have an ongoing relationship with the community groups in their areas on all sides, where they briefed the overall picture. And we haven't heard any negative concerns, but that's not atypical for
But no
the
letters
campus
of opposition.
We have none, no.
All right, thanks.
And I don't have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Tiso. Is there anyone from the public who has a question on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any deliberation amongst the commission? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Or to accept the recommendation of staff. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. And so that was to accept the recommendation, adopt the findings of fact that this is a minor change, and approve the action. And we had a second. Mr. Secretary?
Robin Allen? Robin Allen? Latoya Curtis?
Approve.
John Bullock?
Aye.
Talib Horn?
Approve.
Claudia Jolin?
Approve.
Doug McCoach?
Approve.
And Eric Stevenson.
Approve. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I
Mr.
don't know
Secretary?
if you could hear me or not. I said approve.
We got it.
Robin.
We heard you. Thank you, Commissioner
Got it.
Allen.
Okay, sorry.
All right, next on the agenda.
The final item on the agenda is Stadium Area of Special Sign Control Sign Plan Review. In the 10th Councilmatic District, Caitlin Aldette will present.
Good afternoon. I'm here to present the Stadium Area Special Sign Control Sign Plan. The petitioner here is the Baltimore Ravens. This is in the Southern Planning District, for which Jasmine Kimball is the community planner. So as you may recall, the intent for areas of special sign control is to allow commercial areas the ability to depart from the standard signage requirements described in the zoning code to better respond to their unique character. Under this subtitle, the Planning Commission may recommend and the City Council may approve the designation of an area that meets certain criteria as an area of special sign control. So that happened last year. And then the Planning Commission may approve a specific signage plan for that area of signage control, and that's what we're doing today. So one aspect of the area special signage is that it is one of a limited number of methods to introduce new billboards to the city. You can see here it's highlighted that new billboards are only allowed in area special sign control and that they must also be located in one of the identified zoning districts. The specific site is located in C5 DC and therefore must meet these three highlighted sections of the signage table within the zoning code, as it is a billboard, an electronic sign, and a freestanding pole. Additionally, all signs in an area of special sign control have additional requirements, which include design review, illumination standards, and dwell and loop time requirements. So again, as I stated, there are two actions with every area special sign control. The first one took place in October of last year, which was the recommendation to City Council regarding the designation of the area special sign control. And then today, once an area is designated, then a signage plan must be submitted to the Planning Commission for review. The sign plan is only reviewed by Planning Commission and does not go to City Council. As per the zoning code, the signage plan must include these specific items. So a list of the sign types, location and number of signs, maximum dimensions, and percentage deviation sought. I'll show a table shortly that includes this information as required. And a reminder of where we're located. So this is the boundary that was approved last year. It includes 2 parking lots owned by the Ravens that are west of Russell Street. And here's the table of the request, the sign plan. So the proposal includes a single 2-sided digital billboard on a freestanding pole. There are no deviations from the allowed zoning that are requested. It's pretty straightforward. And then here is an image of the proposed billboard. Another requirement within the zoning code is these findings of fact that the Planning Commission must make. That the signage plan would not increase the likelihood of traffic congestion or distraction. And our interpretation is that the proposed new digital billboard, which will face both north and southbound traffic along Russell Street, there's no evidence to suggest that the proposed sign will be disruptive or distracting, any more so than all the other signs along Russell Street. That it would not add to the visual clutter in the area, and the proposal is the only sign proposed within the area special sign control. It will maintain the appearance along Russell Street that includes several other existing large-scale freestanding billboards, as well as other freestanding signs, without increasing the perceived visual clutter. And then finally, that it would not be incongruous with the existing or contemplated design of the area, and the proposed freestanding sign is simple in design. It matches the other signs located along this corridor, and would not be incongruous. So for notice, the following groups were notified of the bill: the Carroll Camden Business Association, the Federal Hill South Neighborhood Association, South Baltimore, Fed Hill Main Street, Historic Pigtown, Ridgely's Delight Neighborhood Association, Berry Circle Community Association, Citizens of Pigtown, Otterbein, Historic Sharp Letten Hall, and the Federal Hill Neighborhood Association, as well as the physical placings were posted on site. Staff recommendation is to approve and adopt the findings of fact that the proposed signage plan would not increase the likelihood of traffic congestion or distraction, add to the visual clutter in the area, and be incongruous with the existing or contemplated design of the area. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Very concise. Caitlin, any questions from the commission, starting with you, Commissioner McCoach?
I'm just going to say that I'm pleased that this is back, because when you're one of 30 cities that have an NFL team and the costs associated with that, I think it's the right thing to do as much as possible to take advantage of that facility and its attraction to people. So I'm okay with this. I guess I just want a clarification, because I thought that we as a commission, contrary to the history note, which says that we voted to approve the legislation, I thought that we did not.
So you voted, there were 3 bills at the last hearing, and I apologize for not including this in the background section.
Okay.
So yeah, there were 3 bills. One was for the zoning, which was, I believe you all voted to approve.
Mm-hmm.
One was for the designation of the area, and one was, the freestanding pole. And I believe that the commission supported 2 of the 3 bills. Regardless of the commission's recommendation to City Council, the council adopted all 3 bills. And they were all signed into place by the mayor, I believe, on December 4th.
Excellent, thank you. Thanks for that clarification. I feel better.
Commissioner Horn?
No questions. Wholeheartedly agree with the Planning Commission and their findings of fact.
Thank you, Commissioner Horn. Commissioner Jolan?
For this type of sign, Caitlin, thank you. Is the approval, I'm sorry, I didn't follow the council, but is this approval for this type of sign only in this area of special sign control or now allowable in all areas of special sign control?
So the sign plan is specific to each area of special sign control, and the sign plans then identify the specific signs that are allowed. So now this specific sign at this location, meeting these dimensions, is approved. I will say that the planning commission, or the city council had an amendment to, hold on, yeah, you can see it here. Actually, it might be better if I go here. So you can see for the freestanding pole sign, when it came to planning commission, it was limited by ASSC only. And there was discussion of other limiting factors. The applicant brought some discussion here, and you all discussed it as well. And so what the council person actually ended up bringing an amendment for was this requirement that it be located in a parking lot less than 2,000 feet from a stadium with a seating capacity of at least 40,000 people. So, not specific at all. And so that is the requirement. So while I think the commission's concern when this was heard last year was about freestanding poles throughout C5 DC. And so this restriction was to address the concerns of the commission as well as the concerns of the council, to be honest.
Thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Jolene?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
Commissioner Curtis?
No questions, thank you.
My only question is, I see that it was posted and that the communities were notified. Was there any response from any of the community organizations?
The leader of the Sharp Leadenhall Community Organization reached out to me just to better understand.
I expected that she did.
Yes, what was going on, but then there was no further outreach from her once I responded.
Okay. So no objection or either way?
No objection. And then I believe the last planning commission hearing, they had just kind of started outreach. Since then, prior to the council hearings, they did get letters of support from the Carroll Camden Business Association, as well as, I believe, Pigtown. And the applicant is here and can provide more information on that if you're interested.
That's great. Those letters aren't available to us. I don't need
And those were in
to see
support of the
them.
bills for last year, but I think it's indicative of an ongoing conversation that the owner has with the greater community.
And I'm comfortable if you're comfortable. All right, thank you. Any other questions for Caitlin? I know that the applicant is here. Are there any questions for the applicant before we invite them up? No questions. Sir, you're welcome to come up and speak. I don't know that we have any questions.
No,
but
I just want to say, so for the record, my name is Frank Boston. Thank you, Ms. Audette, for your precise presentation. Two things. We do have letters of support, and we did get the community support from citizens of Pigtown, Carroll Camden Business Association, Pigtown Main Street, and the George Washington Local Elementary School. In fact, the timing was so perfect, we did a turkey drive at the school, and we've, because of all these bills, we've been able to develop some, what we hope will be long-standing relationships to do a lot of community things on behalf of the Ravens and these communities. And we have the General Counsel Brandon Eldridge here who will speak more to that just briefly. Also important, we got a letter from one of the Ravens' longstanding MBEs, All Pro Vending, who talked about the partnership and how they've been a great partner and great to work with. But we heard you loud and clear. We heard your concerns about the proliferation of these. Sorry, I lost my voice at the Ravens game on Saturday night. So. Yeah. But we heard your concerns about the proliferation of these signs in the C5 DC district and your concerns. And so did members of the council. So we put in an amendment on that text amendment for the height of the pole that basically, what Ms. Audette said. 2,000 feet, from a stadium with at least 40,000 capacity. So as to avoid spot zoning that included both the stadiums of larger capacity. So that limits it, so hopefully there won't be a proliferation. Notwithstanding the fact they have to come back before you, and that's basically it. Just want to say we heard you loud and clear and took your concerns to heart and tried to our best to address them.
We do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep, thanks. Right.
Sorry, I won't add too much more to that, but on behalf of the Ravens, our team owner, Steve Bisciotti, and Sashi Brown, our president, we are grateful for this commission's consideration. Thank you for your comments. There are quite a few costs associated with running an NFL team and operating a stadium, so this will certainly help and also allow us just generally to activate the stadium more, which is a stated goal of, right, the governors as well as the mayor, right? Attract more people to downtown Baltimore as people are driving up that corridor, right? This will allow us to advertise events that are happening at the stadium. As Frank mentioned, we did secure letters of support from citizens of Pigtown Main Streets, and the Carroll Cannon Business Association. We've developed a pretty good relationship already with Judy and Kate, the owners of two of those breweries down in Carroll Camden, and look forward to O's opening day and probably hosting a staff outing at one of those breweries. We'll let them duke it out. But I think one of the great things that we recognize through this process, we had already been very active in Carroll Camden and in Pigtown, but we just had not been doing a great job of communicating those things to the community associations. We've launched the Financial Fitness Academy at GW Elementary in the past. We renovated, I think, Southwest Baltimore Charter School's library in the past. Every year at our Call to Action program, where it's a Ravens community-wide day of service. We go to Paul's Place, and this year Arthur Millette did a coat drive there. So there just been a lot that we had been doing in the neighborhood already. Our neighbors, right within a stone's throw of the stadium, that we just were doing a great job of communicating. So if there's any byproduct of this, other than helping us offset some of our expenses at the stadium, it's just a deeper relationship with our neighbors right next to the stadium. And we were thrilled to have a turkey giveaway at GW Elementary, and it was great seeing the principal walk up and down the street with a bullhorn shouting, "Go Ravens," and come get a turkey. So deeper relationship. This will be great. We do also, and we have talked to leadership at Carroll Camden and Pigtown about using the billboard once it goes up to advertise community-wide events, Pigtown Fest and some brewery festivals that they have going on, and also just generally talking with the mayor's office about using that billboard, right, as a gateway to the city to advertise citywide events as well. So we're excited about this. Thank you for your consideration, and yeah, I'm happy to answer questions or go back to helping figure out this whole beating Buffalo thing. Brandon Etheridge.
Thanks a lot. We really appreciate you guys being here. I know that we didn't see completely eye to eye last time, but you guys, heard our concerns and continued to work in good faith to get that community engagement to include the amendment. And so thank you for your partnership, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any additional questions from the commission?
Just a quick question, because I do think it's a gateway element. But apparently, as a city, we respect everyone's sort of First Amendment rights, so we have no authority over what goes up on the sign. I'm just hoping as a citizen and an individual that I don't see like Gentleman's Gold Club or FanDuel or, those sorts of advertisements up there, which you probably can't even answer, but it's still a statement that I feel compelled to make.
No, I completely understand, and there are NFL regulations surrounding the types of things that can be advertised. And as well, right, with the stadium itself, the state of Maryland has significant restrictions in our lease as to what can be advertised. Those were not points that were strongly contested or argued by us because we agree, right? I mean, on posting things that could encourage violence, right? Like, just anything of that nature, things that might be, I think the exact language in the lease is things that are antithetical to the good spirit or nature or whatever of the state. So we're on board. And it wouldn't be the Ravens way, it wouldn't be Steve Bisciotti's way, Sashi's, or mine to advertise things of that nature. In fact, I think, I may be wrong about this, but I think maybe one of the first images that we were floating around had a Bud Light sign on it, and
I was gonna
I was
compliment you
like,
on
we need
fixing
to,
that.
we appreciate the creativity of our vendor here, but that is certainly not what, this is not to try to encourage people to engage things like that. This is really, you've, I assume most of you have been to our games and that sort of thing. Sponsors of that nature, but also, like I said, it's really community-wide events and then Ravens events, right? I mean, when we have our Purple Evening, our Women's Affinity Group event, the only really way that we have typically advertised that is social media channels. So this will be a way to kind of advertise events like that and drive people to our stadium and events on stadium grounds. And like I said, also, it was important to Pickett Brewing especially, right? It's like when we have community-wide events down here, we'd love to get the word out to people passing by. So this will be a great opportunity for them to do that as well.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Any other questions for the presenter? No, thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
I assume we don't have any questions from the public? Great, thank you very much. I'll close the public hearing. Any deliberation? I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve and adopt the findings of fact that the proposed signage plan will not increase the likelihood of traffic congestion or distraction, add to the visual clutter in the area, and be incongruous with the existing or contemplated design of the area.
Commissioner Horn, that was so eloquent. I would like to second that motion. Mr. Secretary?
Robin Allen,
I think that was an approve. Yeah.
Latoya Curtis,
Approved.
John Bullock,
Approved.
Always
Talib Horn. Approved. Claudio Jolin,
Approve.
Doug McCoach.
Approve.
And Eric Stevenson.
Approve. Thank you so much. Just